Hi friends, let's take a look at Ethereum, shall we? Oh, good idea, Rocky, good idea. Here's another good idea for you, Rocky. I would love to subscribe to your channel. Oh, well, okay then, you can do that. You can do that. Enough crazy conversation. By the way, people looking at me and thinking he's got some mark on his face there or whatever. It's just because I shaved badly the other day and I seem to have left a wee patch there, wee patch here, my wee sort of Adolf patch there. It's not so good, is it? Looking pretty bad there. I'll have to have a shave after I've made these videos. Priorities, yes. Right, so welcome to the show. Thanks so much for sitting through my guff. Let's take a look at Ethereum versus the US dollar. And we can look at it, we can look at it on Coinbase if you would like, as we did in the past already, just to kind of, let's go up to a bigger time frame, just to check in here, remember that, what we've been talking about in terms of the big picture. And that is that from a big picture point of view, that you're looking at the 236 over here at $390.99 if you want to have a big hella rise up towards the top. But that's just a little bit of context for us, because we've got other contexts to have too. And if you're looking for something that's a bit more immediate, a bit more pressing, a bit more dangerous in terms of the price action, then if I just get rid of some of these, did I draw that on a small time frame? So it's actually a shape of some sort. It's just so terrible, the drawings there. If we just look, let's go to the 24-hour time frame. If we look here at the 236, you can see that the prices have come down and touched it a few times, but they've not gone down below it fully yet. So there's two of these that we can be aware of, towards the downside on this chart if we were to look for a Fibonacci retracement towards the downside. So, and they offer up certain targets for us, and that still is the case, So we've seen this happen over the last few days. We came down and touched 308 again. In the last couple of days, we've just been down as far as, 313 or so. Let's just see if we can go on, if we can get the prices. Sorry, I'm talking about this like it's great to be bearish. I'm sorry. I hate to offend anybody. Let's see if the prices are able to maintain themselves above the 236 area, therefore, and not create a valid Fibonacci towards the downside, and perhaps then move towards the top side. And if you do, of course, on the BitMEX chart, then you see that the context of that 236 from before comes back into play, because really, you've got very little price action up above us. So if I just dive over to Coinbase again, you can see that in context for us. Then this would be the bigger picture that we'd be looking at if we move up to where those highs were in and around this area on the BitMEX charts. But anyway, just over here in the BitMEX chart, just because this is where we've been, as you can tell, we've spent some time here on this chart, that we can kind of just bring us up. Look, the volume was going up. That's great. Did it put in any sort of really big volume? Like, this was big, big volume, I suppose, must have been in these sections here. We had that parabolic rise up and this parabolic rise down. No, not quite as much as that. It hasn't honestly had that during this phase here. But, maybe that's because this is just beginning and we're looking towards the future. If we do see the prices move up above $333, that would be, just to keep things nice and round number-wise and everything, that would be the start of that ball rolling. Looking up the way then afterwards, the next target's got to be 337 and then 344, just using $7 difference there, really looking at the differences in the price action. And then another $10 up afterwards, that 365 area would be the three sort of areas that you could easily kind of look to if you're trading this on BitMEX. I suppose 340 really is the key there in that, in terms of maintaining that on a daily open and closing basis. But failing that, and that looking at the sort of lower down time frames and whatnot, and where the prices could very well go, what I'm looking at for managing risk is really between these two numbers here, 328 and 308, $10 up and down from where we are right now. That's purely coincidental that it's $10 up and down from where we are right now, but the coincidence being that we're right in the middle of this thing. Now, you see the shape of that? You see the shape of that on the 24-hour time frame? Just dive down to the 4-hour time frame. It shouldn't be much of a surprise to you that you see that kind of concertina out to the right and get a sort of bit of a shape on the go there with it that we can kind of look to and say, look, is this a symmetrical triangle that we have just now on the charts? Quite possibly. We're getting fairly extended into it. So if we were to go for the, let's do YouTube style first off, YouTube style measured move. Let's say we break out a bit there. That takes us up to that 340 number that we've been talking about. And if we were to do it from there, that takes us down to our 294 area, going past various targets on the way. For instance, this $300 area that we spoke about in yesterday's video. Everything from yesterday's video still very much valid today, of course, as well. So check it out if you're looking for more detail, because you'll get more detail there. But there we are, and that's what we're looking at. But if we were to just do the sort of 50%, 60% measured breakout type thing, then really we can look down to this area down below where the 236 is at $308, like we're speaking about already, and how the prices interact with there in the run up to 305. 225, etc., before even getting to the 300 area. And likewise, if we were to break out of this, in the next wee while, for instance, you'd be looking up towards the sort of the 333 area that we already spoke about. So that's your context for you, really, in terms of trading this thing. If you want to trade this and you're talking about trading, and you're looking at moves that are beyond either of these areas, then cooly schmooly, just let me know in the comments down below if you want to have a more swing style trading approach to this. I'm obviously coming in there and getting sort of stuck in there, putting my hands right into the mix, and looking at where we are right now. But if you want to sort of step back and just see this thing rise up in the oven or whatever, and that's what you prefer on the channel, let me know. It's all good, because people who want to let me know about stuff, I've got a great way of doing it now as well, where they can become an early supporter. So if you want to hit that join button, then you are a special type of hero. And I want to give a shout out to Ekrem Karatas. Now, I've probably got your name completely wrong, but who cares? Because that's what names are for. To get wrong, at least in my experience when it comes to saying them, that's what they seem to be for. So let me know about how I got on with saying it. I don't know what this wee symbol under the S means, so it'd be Karatas, or Karatath, or some other sort of sound on the S, I wonder. Ekrem Karatas, though, that's what I'm going with. That's how you say your name if you're from Edinburgh. Scotland, by the way. That's where I'm from. So if you want to join in here, then you totally can. Thank you so much for him for becoming the very, very first person to join the channel. That's wonderful. You're a superstar. And if you want to subscribe, though, because joining channels just isn't your thing at the minute, and you don't feel like you're getting any value from me that you want to say anything back to, fair enough. Then you can hit that subscribe button. And if you just hate me, then go ahead and hit the down like button. What are we going to do here? But I just try and put out a bit of value for everybody, and all of the conversations we have on a daily basis. Just a bit of value for you to take away from every episode, and I hope that you get that, and I hope it adds up to something. And if you want to send that value back at me, well, then you're more than welcome to. Thank you so much for doing so, Ekrem. Right, yeah. And I don't know what videos you watch or whatever, because I've not seen any comments from you before, so I'm saying hi to you in all of the videos. What we could also look at here is the Ethereum Bitcoin prices. Now, we did actually manage to call the high on this one quite nicely, which is always nice to do that sort of crack here in around this zone, and then it dropped down the way. As you can see, just looking over here, and keep your eye on this area just here, just here, just look into the left, just in this pocket, you can see that there is a drop off, no matter, going back and including price action, which is in amongst it, of course, even going back really, really, really far. I'm sure if I were to zoom this in a bit, this becomes a bit ridiculous at that point. But you can see that you can see from the position of the nodes and everything that they're coming right in just under kind of where the current price action is, really. So if we did see the prices drop off there, then maybe they would return back down to some of these lows that we've had in the past. And for instance, the easiest place to look at really would be in around about where the point of control would be on this. If I liked having that rank red line just hanging a bit on the charts, which I don't like, so I get rid of it. It would be there, on there for us, right? So there it is, just stuck it on. So you can see the point of control coming in at 25. There we go, makes a bit of sense. That would be, we'll just call that the sort of target to be looking out for if we do move towards the downside. Failing that, towards the top side, you can have two of them, I suppose. One can be 31, and the next one then thereafter can be right in this zone here. We'll call it 33. Which would be another 10% up. 34. Call it 34 so we can get 10% up. Right, cool. That would be the two target stores at the top side. Trading beyond there, like I say, if you want to know more about bigger term time frame stuff, let me know. But that's more than enough to be getting on with, I would say. When I look at it versus GBPs, maybe just for the crack, wonder where you are in the world, Ekrem. Over here in the UK, we use the GBP, as you may well be aware. Just looking to the left here, you can see this little structure. Looking all the way back then, that's as high as we ever got. Which chart? What am I looking at here? This is Coinbase versus GBP, and it goes far back as what? 11th of September 2018. The dollar pairing goes far back as 2016, right? So there's a lot more price action there. So this is similar. Yeah, interesting enough. Anyway, that was about as much interesting as I'm going to get out of looking at the GBP prices on this one. Yeah, we're right in amongst this zone here. Seeing a pullback from that area wouldn't be much of a shock overall. Okay, let's just let's just do a couple of things then real quick. Have I got a 1618? So the target towards the top side would be 316 quid. Towards the bottom, just using this Fibonacci retracement here. Let's stick in another one though to look for as the downward side targets, and then we'll leave off. I bet you my viewership numbers here in the the GBP one will go right down, even though there are people from the UK that watch these videos. Nobody cares about the Great British Pound price pattern. But $218 we put in that 236, looking for hella price movements down the way if we go past 218 quid, on this one. So we're at 244 at the minute. If we see the prices drop by 20%, then you know that you're in for some losing some of your teeth. Then you'd be down 382. You could even look down to 140 quid thereafter if that was the case. Oh, that'd be hella bearish. Instead, though, let's look up to first off, can we get above 260, and then maybe our target can become 360 thereafter. 286. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. 260, then 289 or 290. Sorry. And then $320. That's what our 3 GBP prices are. What a waste of time. Cheapers, creepers, silly me. Catch you in the next episode though, and if you want to hit those buttons, subscribe, like, all that stuff, then I appreciate it a lot. Catch you next time.